Right, one thing I want to know is this. I want to talk a little bit about some of those teammates, and obviously one I want to talk about is Oskar. That's why I brought him up. Because one thing that shocked me actually, suNny, when I was doing a bit of research is, I saw in the past, you actually said it was Oskar who maybe got you into this team, because like you said, you had a connection with him. Now, the reason I bring this up is this, right? I'm just going to say this from my perspective as an outsider. I don't know many of you mouse guys that well. I know like Sticko and Rops a little bit, and I know maybe Chris J, but I don't know like you and I actually haven't talked to Oskar very much. One thing I do think is a bit dirty is this, suNny, is I know that technically Nico's the one that started the whole rumour about Oskar, because it was when Oskar joined Mouse Sports in 2016. Nico's the one who just told someone basically, oh, he's a bit weird or whatever, like, oh. And then famously that story that Richard sold on By the Numbers of like he has all those birds that come when he's streaming, which does make him look like a Disney princess or something. But so the point is, he is a weird guy. But the problem I have is this, mate, is people took that and it became like a whole narrative. You've probably seen it on Reddit. Like people just assume like, oh, well, that's the reason he can never be in a top team, or like, well, of course you'd have to replace him. He's just like a weird guy. And I think when they hear weird, they think like, you know, like he's an arsehole, or he's like a really like saying all inappropriate things. Whereas as far as I can tell, he seems like he's not a malicious guy at all, as far as I can tell. He's only weird in the sense that he's way older than everyone. He's had a very different career because he spent all those years grinding in fucking like Czech Republic or something. And then on top of that, here's the part I think's the dirtiest. When everyone says, oh, but he doesn't want to go to all the events. Guys, he's in Mouse Sports. Like a topic we're going to talk about in a minute is if you're in Mouse Sports, the joke is they just sign you up to every LAN in the world and you just go. Like it's not like phase. Like, do we want to go to this LAN? Like you're in Mouse Sports, mate. They pay you the money and you just go to all the LANs that year. So also of all the teams, like that is the team where you just make you travel all the time and he has a family. So give me some thoughts on this. Give me like now with years later, give me like the perspective on Oskar. Like what? Like there must be some aspects where it's true. It must be hard to be his teammate in some degrees. But give me your take on it. What's the legit take?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be completely honest and open about it, and this is my opinion and my thoughts only, so it's not the only truth again. So Tommy, he's like the sweetest guy in the world outside of the game and also in the game, but he's also like very moody. You can definitely see and hear his emotions through the like body language and everything. And the thing with him is that I think that he's been on the same level individually for like last 10 years.
Oh, he's insane,
like, yeah. So that is crazy to me. Like that, like he's still exactly the same guy who he was as a player than I played with him last time.
Dude, people think I'm exaggerating because they think I just like this guy. They don't know. Like I saw this guy play in 1.6 when he couldn't be in the top. Like, no joke. The eye test on this player, he's actually one of the most skilled players I've ever seen. He's mega unique.
Yeah, and his intuition is like so high that like I learned a lot from him, and I look very much up to him still today. But I think that like why there is these rumors that people say that he's weird or toxic teammate or whatever is that as well. I think it's a bit similar to Simple or Nico at certain aspects that they just understand so much more and faster about the game than the rest of the guys. And then when they see something what they think is stupid, it is coming in some weird tone what leaves questions to people or teammates sometimes.
Like they think it should be obvious to you guys what you're not doing.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is like it is how he is. He's just like better than most of people, and he's faster, and his talent is just way higher. So as a human, he kind of expects the same from everyone because we just reflect on like how we feel.
Yeah, sure.
And that is like what is coming, like what can come out, especially during the bad days or bad moments. But I wouldn't ever call him a toxic teammate for sure. Not like he's probably the funniest guy that I have ever met in my life. And it's just like one sound what he's making at some point, everyone is laughing. But obviously, like it's going also downside that if he have a very bad day, then he's a bit more silent, and everybody knows that he's not feeling it. But it's just something that I think that is a personal matter, or like that's how some people are. And some people call them weird, but I call them talents and or artists. I think Oskar is like an artist type of guy, very very much. And you just need to like understand him, and everything is fine. He's not toxic at all.
I even get what you mean by that when you say like artists, because I also think that's the sort of player, because I've talked about, like I say, like Sticko in the team. I always got the vibe in that team, because people know famously, like the famous thing about Oskar, obviously in FPL, was like if he got annoyed when he was AWP and he would just give someone else the AWP. That was the famous thing, right? That he didn't want AWP anymore, even though he's, by the way, one of the best AWPers like ever in CSGO history. So like I remember talking to Sticko, and he basically told me it was like, it's not like you micro Oskar, it's the opposite. It's more like you have to like set up everything else so it's comfortable, and then when you create the space that he can do what he's going to do, then he'll just be amazing and take over the game. team. So he said the weird thing is, it's like if you set him up right, it's like you have Simple on your team. But at the same time, you can't just like do nothing and just think he's just going to like, because that's the difference between a lot of the superstars. They do just do whatever they want no matter what. They have super confident guys. So it feels like maybe there's like a balance you have to strike there.
Yeah, exactly. And what comes to like Oskar, for example, is that he, like, I can see that he sees when we are playing against teams and when we were playing against teams which have different type of structure and stuff, he sees the like structure in his head in some sort of a puzzle, and he knows how to operate in it. But his problem was a bit that he need to understand that sometimes. I think he's doing it now, but back then he didn't understand always that like we need to have the structure so it enables him to be the better player who everyone needs and wants to see. And that is, I think that I don't know anything about Navi, but I think that Simple find like the extreme peak of his career, which is happening right now, because he have guys around him who know how to set him up, and he's gonna deliver, and he have the freedom in the structure. So it's like I think that is also why some people might think that he was weird or toxic because he didn't follow the plan or whatever, but he just understands more. And when the intuition kicks in high adrenaline moments, you cannot explain yourself, you just have to follow it. But yeah, that's the case with him.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.